What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And this week is getting started with some of the biggest earnings in the market, with big tech. Tesla is starting us out. They have essentially crushed earnings, but being said, there is still a lot of worries and concerns on chip shortages. And a lot of it is relying on the chip shortages. And also the semi has been shifted to 2022 as well, but they completely crushed earnings. Being said, this week will be very interesting. I think there's going to be a major shift. Obviously, the chip shortage has played or wreaked havoc on a lot of these big companies and essentially where they go from this point. But we are just getting started. The market itself today, it did pull back a little bit overnight, but ultimately we came up. There was a lot of stuff that pumped, a lot of big tech pumped, but then it kind of just stalled and died out. There's been a lot of concerns about China. There's been a lot of talk about China. There's been a lot of talk about delisting. There's been a lot of talk about rate changes, growth, struggling in growth. There's been a lot of different rumors coming out of China, and Tesla even took quite a beating coming out of the gate today. Essentially it took a beating out, and then it pumped towards the middle of the day, towards the end of the day. Before earnings, but ultimately the markets is, I think I've talked about this on the weekly update. I think we're going to, after earnings, I think we're going to do a pullback, a pretty decent pullback from this point. We also have that card in with Yellen. We do have the Fed as well. That meeting starts tomorrow, but we won't see Powell until 2:30 Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. So that is what's interesting. We're going to see if we can continue to stall. I'm not expecting anything from Fed unless there's some wild card that Yellen comes out and talks about the debt ceiling, which is something I also mentioned about. And if that's going to be an issue, we could see a bigger correction from that point. But I do expect us to be dying off going into August a little bit. We'll have to see how this week goes. I get some nice continuations. I want to really see how Tesla plays the rest of the week, but SPY still very strong. QQQ's kind of flat. I think this is ultimately because we are waiting to see what Powell's going to say. If he doesn't say anything, we do have core inflation data on Friday. So as long as earnings do well, everybody crushes it. Maybe we get a couple pumps here and there. But ultimately, I think Friday, if that core inflation data is good, I think Friday might be the major day that we really rip. So it really depends on how that plays out. As far as the watch lists for tomorrow, let me see here. Mess this all up. I do have Tesla, Facebook, Roblox, Planet 13, and SC. Tesla, I really want to see what's going to happen with this continuation. You have Facebook, which they do earnings on Wednesday after the bell. I want to see if there's a continuation of this, or perhaps we stall until that point. We did have a major run last week. Then we have Roblox, I like on daily, Planet 13 daily, SC is also daily plays. So Tesla, like I said, it really depends what happens. There's a lot of concern on what the future will bring. I think that's why this isn't actually jetted to 700 from this point. So I want to see how we do overnight on this. If we do manage to start pushing up because of the great numbers, we'll have to see. But again, it all depends on the future outlook. And if there's going to be a chip shortage, it's really going to weigh heavily on future revenue. So we have to see how that plays. Facebook is the other one I have. Been kind of sideways. I did play this morning. I did grab this and ride this up this morning and got out. Obviously, it didn't. It stalled. Everything stalled right around here. A lot of different growth stocks had the same move this morning. But I do want to play this going into Wednesday. This is one of my primaries. I'll be playing until Wednesday and then perhaps continuation until after. But ultimately, I do really like Facebook, especially after Snap killed it and did tremendous. I think Facebook is going to be the next one to have a massive run following that. Roblox is the other one I have. This is one I've been in and out of. I almost took this today. It is in my buy zone. I want to see if I can get a little bit lower tomorrow. I want to see where we're at. The market stalled. And one thing I didn't like was that Amazon shop started really dying off today. And so being said, I want to see how that looks tomorrow as well. Again, I think it might be weighing on the Fed. But ultimately, if everything goes smoothly, and then again, that core inflation data comes out good on Friday, I think we should be good as long as there's no random things thrown out there by Yellen. We know where Powell stands. We know what Powell's going to say. Nothing is going to change him. I think the biggest concern again is Yellen on that front. So I do like this on the daily. This is one of the daily plays I do like. I do like it's tagging the 200 here. So I will be looking to get into this tomorrow as long as it holds this 776 mark. Again, it's downward pattern. I think we can actually pop out of this. And then we do have earnings middle of next month. And Planet 13 is the other one I have. This one hasn't really been doing a lot of work, but I've been kind of waiting for an entry for this. I know I played this earlier on this year, and then ever since March, it's been kind of stagnant. Hasn't done too much. The MJ space in itself hasn't really done too much, but see if I can find it here. Might have misplaced it. There we go. But I do like it on the daily. It's at a solid support. We do have a 200 EMA on the daily, so that's what I do like about it. You don't want it to fall below this 569 mark. So I'm looking to pick up possibly a position in this in shares. Obviously, I don't think there's even options for Planet 13 at this point, but I do like that for the long run as well. SE is the other one I have. Again, going off of e-commerce, I think this one could do well. It's not looking the greatest. We did break down below support here. Possibly looking on the daily, though. On the daily, it looks like it's pretty solid. We want it to come down a little bit further to that 283 mark. I think would be a good entry tomorrow. I think there's any kind of pullback that's to the 283, so you got support here. This is what I'm looking at as well. So I do have a zone for that particular instance as well. So that's what I'm looking at tomorrow. If nothing else, we might get a good bounce out of this tomorrow, which I'll be looking for. If not, if the market doesn't correct or anything, if there's any news, especially the China stuff, a lot of China stuff has been affecting a lot of different things. So I don't know if that's a cause for concern with it while we had this spike today, but ultimately that is what I got for tomorrow. Again, I'm trying to stay with the leaders tomorrow. It's important to stay with the leaders, especially with this market. A lot of, again, mid cap and small caps have been really hammered hard. I'm looking to get back into those, but I want to kind of see how this week plays out. If there's any kind of correction, I don't want to be in those mid to lower cap. I mean, there might be a rotation and those start pushing, and then the larger caps start pulling back from that point. So something I want to keep on watch until that point. So remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.